What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Draft Yoda, where we're data driven and prospect focused. I am Draft Yoda himself, Bill Workman. I am your favorite draft nerd's favorite draft nerd. And today we're talking about one of the most fascinating quarterbacks in college football, USC quarterback Jayden Maiava. I've got Maiava carrying a 9.29 grade in my 10-point scale, making him the number 12 overall player and my number 3 overall quarterback in this draft class. And honestly, I think Jayden Maiava may be one of the wildest ranges of outcomes of any quarterback in this class. I understand this is his high side, but man, there are things I watch when I watch him, I love, and there's things I hate. We'll get into it. Because when you watch the best parts of his tape, you see future first round pick. He has the NFL arm talent. He has the elite deep ball placement. You see a quarterback capable of carrying an offense. But when you watch the worst parts of his tape, you see why scouts still have questions. And that's what makes his evaluation so interesting. Jayden Maiava's story is nothing, has nothing about it that was easy. He wasn't a 5-star. He wasn't the quarterback everybody expected to become a star. His path took him from multiple high schools across Hawaii and Nevada to landing at UNLV. Once he got there, he immediately proved he belonged, was the Mountain West Freshman of the Year, passed for over 3,000 yards, 17 touchdowns. And all of a sudden, people started paying attention. Transferred to USC. After initially committing to Georgia, now decided the Trojans were where he wanted to be. And his first full season as a starter led the Big Ten in passing yards. That's not an accident. That's talent. One thing that jumps off the page or the tape when you're watching it is arm talent. The ball explodes out of his hand. Unlike some of the quarterbacks with big arms, he doesn't need a perfect platform to create the velocity. He can throw from different arm angles. He can throw while absorbing contact. He makes difficult throws look routine. He is the next NFL gunslinger. Second thing I love is the deep ball touch. He had two wide receivers come out this past season, and I kept watching when they would catch the balls, just how well placed some of those deep balls were. You know, and it wasn't just a one or two here; it was consistently placed, where only the wide receiver had a chance. He was dropping them into. I know you've seen the film of players practicing with buckets or nets at the end zone. Maiava can do that. He's got touch at 50, 60 yards downfield, which is rare, super rare. He also, when you watch bigger armed quarterbacks, you usually see a longer release. His isn't. It's a quick release. It's compact and it's efficient. And he gets the ball out before pressure arrives. It's honestly one of the reasons he was able to lead the Big Ten in passing yards was because he stayed ahead of schedule and got the ball out. When he's playing well, he's one of the most dangerous quarterbacks in college. Pull up the Michigan game, the Missouri game. He was efficient, decisive, looked in complete control. Just shredded those defenses. Those are the games that scouts are going to be excited about. Those are the highlight games that if I was on his team editing clips, I would focus on because they show what he can become. They show his high end. They show a quarterback that attacks every level of the field and consistently stresses defense. One of the biggest reasons he's climbing the boards for me is because he still has a relatively we still have a relatively raw version of him. 2025 was his first full year in that offense. Um, so the growth curve is still trending. He's returning to USC with another year of experience, another year in that system, another year developing chemistry with the wide receivers. I think that's a dangerous combination. Quarterbacks tend to make their biggest leap between their first and second year of full time starting in college, and that's where we're at with Maiava. I don't want to use the H word yet with him, simply because that puts conversations around him I don't think he's ready for. I don't think anybody's really ready for. But something we gotta keep on the periphery. Um, like I've said in every video, nobody's perfect. Nobody will ever be perfect. You know, um, one of my biggest concern, if not the biggest concern, is the turnover profile. 21 turnovers, 21 turnover worthy plays is a ton. It's a number that when you pull up the stats will immediately jump off the page, and coaches will either love the aggression or they will hate the recklessness in decisions. Um, and that is a line that he flirts with quite a bit. If he can figure it out and develop where I think he's able to, um, that'll become less of a problem this year and really skyrocket him so that everybody else sees him the way I do. Um, he also needs to improve his pocket discipline. When pressure starts arriving, his footwork gets a little messy, gets a little sloppy, um, and his accuracy suffers because of it. Uh, go back to the Oregon game last year. That defense was able to speed him up, and once they sped him up, um, he really looked out of sorts. If he can improve on that this offseason and going into this season, he's going to be a guy. He also needs to process just a little bit faster. Um, there were some contested catches that didn't need to be contested catches um, if he had been able to read just a little bit faster. That's something that good defenses USC will still be able to take advantage of, but those elite defenses, those Ohio States, those Oregons, then when the games you see in the playoffs, that's something that's going to set those games apart between wins and losses. But he's got a big arm. He's aggressive. He has a willingness to challenge tight windows. He's capable of making just amazingly spectacular throws. But he's also capable of frustrating mistakes. Can he catch Dante Moore for number 2? Right now, my answer is no. He does have the chance to make the biggest jump of any quarterback on the board for most people because I have him at QB3. I think I've consistently seen him as QB6, 7, or 8 on other people's board. I love the arm talent. I love the production that's already there, and that's what's generating his slide up is the production that's already there. I take that into a heavier account than most. But the question is, can his decision making make the next step? I think if it does, the conversations start getting very interesting around Jayden Maiava. Currently, 9.29 out of 10. Number 12 overall player. Number 3 quarterback in the year of the quarterback. And honestly, one of the most exciting quarterbacks evaluations in the country for me. He has legitimate first round tools. He has an arm talent that would guarantee him a starting spot on half the teams in the league right now. So I think the ceiling is significantly high for him. But unlike Arch and Dante, there's a lot more questions revolving around Jayden Maiava And that's what I need to see in 2026. I need to see him make that next step forward. But that's just my board, you know. What do you think of Jayden Maiava? Can he be a first-round pick? Can he challenge Dante Moore for number 2 quarterback in this class? Where would you rank him in the quarterbacks of college football? Drop your comments down below. If you enjoyed these player evaluations, they're built around film and analytics. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, because we're going to keep putting in the work. I am Draft Yoda, Bill Workman, your favorite draft nerd's favorite draft nerd, and I'll see you next time.